Hello, I'm SupaWaluigi, and welcome back to NintendoWorld and the SupaConstruction series within it. I swear I keep changing how I do these intros every time when I do a SupaConstruction video. But anyway, in this part, we have moved on from Bowser's Castle and across the valley. We're now working on Luigi's Mansion. Yes, hopefully all of this will be completed in time for Halloween. I know it's quite early to be thinking about Halloween right now because it's basically the start of September right now. But yeah, it should be finished because it's going quite well. It's going to be probably the most difficult build so far because I'm not entirely sure what to fill it with. Because scenery-wise, it's not great. Got some alright Halloween-like props and everything, but it's all a bit general, really. It's general and generic. It's not very well themed for this in particular, but this is basically going to be the theme park's first dark ride, I think. Obviously, you need a lot of space for dark rides. Since you're mainly going to be filling it with stuff. This is just a haunted house ride, or rather I think it's a haunted hotel ride, where it's just like a slow track with little carts that people sit in, and it's mainly the scenery that's meant to scare them and thrill them in some way. But at the moment we're just getting a general shape for the house. That bit in the middle might seem quite odd, but that is basically going to be a main staircase that the track will go up and down, and we'll have 2 floors to the ride, like Luigi's Mansion. And obviously we're going to have music and other scenery. I mean, it's not just going to be Luigi's Mansion in this area. Because there's quite a few other scarily themed rides that will fit in, and the general layout is mainly going to be the mansion, but then also there'll be like a garden area that connects to the mansion, and it'll have maybe other rides and shop stalls and everything in it, and like a creepy forest on the way up. It's all going to be properly scenery, but it's gonna take a while, is all I say. I mean, I think currently we're going to be having about 3 parts maybe just on the mansion itself because it's so big. I mean, I'll try and cut out a lot of the boring stuff like wall building, hence why there's a lot of transitions so far in this part, because it is mainly just wall and floor building, and also our favourite terrain editing as well. God, I mean, that's just... If I thought terrain editing was bad in all previous parts, this part outdoes itself. Because, once again, for some reason it's just like the terrain just isn't incremental to the track height, so I have to manually do it. It's very annoying, but eventually it all comes together. So we're just going inside. You can see a bit of a preview of some of the track options for the Ghost ride. It's not really a fast one. It's mainly just a slow-paced trek through the house with some little trippy elements with like a spinning tunnel thing. Not really sure what to call it. But we're just filling up the bottom floor or bottom left-hand side of the floor, changing over the staircase just a little bit so we can fit in the actual track so that it can go up and down it, and just making sure walls will fit and everything. But yeah, this like the general idea is make it a spooky haunted house, and you can imagine the real life Luigi's Mansion being like this. If they make a real life Luigi's Mansion, you can imagine all the different types of ghosts on display and boos and everything, which is why I'm kind of like I mean, I think it's probably a bit obvious at this point because I've talked about it quite a few times. But if I do a Planet Coaster Nintendo World Park, some point in the future, it might be a long way off. It's going to be a much longer series because there's just so much more customizability in it. I could build my own, basically, just build your own characters. Because whenever I listen to the, there's an orchestral version by the London Philharmonic Orchestra of the Luigi's Mansion theme, and whenever I listen to it, there's a very specific point where it just sounds like you would enter into a great hall and King Boo's there, laughing maniacally and staring at you as you ride the track or ride the ride, and there'll be lots of little Boos around him and everything, and it's just like that would be just perfect music linked up with the perfect scenery and settings for Luigi's Mansion. But that's the basic shape at the moment. That's pretty much the ride done. We just need to fill it up with all the scenery and surroundings, making sure it's all fully covered and properly themed. You might be wondering what this little outside bit is. Well, if you've seen the NintendoLand theme park in Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 that I've done, there was a similar sort of thing where it's pretty much a small build-up to the actual entrance of the mansion, where you kind of start out in a shack where the trains are, and you queue up there, and there's like a little build-up, like in the beginning of the first game, where Luigi's checking his map to see where the mansion actually is, and he's walking up the path, that sort of thing. Or like in the Mario Kart DS on the Luigi's Mansion track, where you've just got that little short bit of pathway before the actual steps up into the mansion. It's kind of going to replicate that. We're going to have some trees around it, and make it generally quite creepy. Now inside we are trying to kind of build up the main entrance, like a grand foyer. Grand foyer, where you can see the stairs, but then you turn off to the left and go through the house and then go upstairs, sort of thing. And these red blocks here are kind of trying to replicate dark red carpet. It'll be a little bit clearer later on when we do it downstairs as well. But this is basically where the top floor balcony is. So when you go upstairs, you haven't gone into so many rooms just yet. You'll be on the balcony, you can look back down into the grand foyer and see other people going through, that sort of thing. And I think we're going to be working on the bottom bit now. Just got to do more terrain editing and a little bit of track editing just to get it right. Yep, there we go. God dear, terrain editing, eh? Bloody terrain editing. It's just so annoying. So annoying. Right, there you go. You can kind of see the general idea what I'm doing here. Just moving the terrain down there so I can fill it up with the dark red. Let's call them carpet blocks. Yeah, they're carpet blocks for now. They might look like other sort of generic concrete blocks, but no, they're carpet blocks for today. And we've just filled in that back hallway there that you'll be able to see down when it's all built up. Just trying to find the right flooring for the ground foyer. I think we've got some tile pieces. There we go. Look at that. Nice looking tile pieces for the grand foyer. Don't know why I'm saying it like that. Actually, lighting this ride is going to be quite difficult as well. Didn't really think about that until now. Obviously, scenery is first and foremost, and it's good that the carts themselves have their own lighting to light things up, but I think it's going to be actually quite dark on the inside once the roof is on and everything, which we'll see in the next part. This is mainly just flooring and wall building. Here we go. Here's some of the interior walls now. Trying to decide what would look best, because I actually used images from the game to try and gauge how it would look, because it's kind of like really drab, dreary wallpaper. But in the end, I decided the exterior walls work just as well. Really, it still gives off that creepy vibe and the spookiness of it all. So yeah, we're just filling up the hallways there, trying to divide the house into rooms, getting a little bit of a roof in. You can see where that spinning tunnel is, just to give the house a different kind of shape, because at the moment it is very blocky. It is just pretty much a giant square, which basically, yes, it is kind of how Luigi's Mansion is in the game, but it's all kind of wibbly and wobbly, like not actual straight edges, which is something that Rollercoaster Tycoon doesn't necessarily do. But we're just getting in more carpet blocks, a different kind of colour, because this will probably be a bedroom of some sort. Oh god, the scenery inside is going to be so difficult then, because you're not going to be able to get furniture pieces. Maybe I will have to venture into the world of mods for Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 in the end anyway. But then that kind of defeats the point of all the previous areas, because we've basically completed them now. Interesting. Well, we're slowing it down here. This is what we've got so far for Luigi's Mansion. Sure, I know what you think, it doesn't look like much at the moment, but it'll get better. It'll only get better. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!